Yeah, so he asked, what'd you put on it? I said, spike, spike. And he said, no, it's pronounced spice.
The message FEN was transmitted repeatedly for 8 billion million years. It stopped at some point after that, and that's when the destruction began.
So, you may notice some new files. Don't mind these. They're just testing out of desperation. So, okay, so filtering. You see I have the priority, so I want to filter release date, last played rating, and finished, which I don't even have these implemented yet, so like whatever. But here's the thing. You know how I was talking about UI work, feeling like it's fluff and that I should do quote-unquote real work. But, I mean, it's kind of silly to say that, really, because this user interface is what everyone's going to see and work with. And my water is spilling all over the place, flooding the room, and I'm about to drown. Glub, glub, that's my drowning sound. So, yes. So, of course, it's important to get it right, even though it seems like it's just fiddly and takes forever. So, okay, so the old controls, the filter controls, are down here, so they still exist, but I moved them down here because I was testing a toolbar, because, you see, the filters were going to kind of get a lot of them, and so they would easily probably fill up this space, and if your window was smaller, what was that? Oh, weird. Then, it could end up like, well, when I have more filters, it'll end up being kind of filled up. So I thought, well, you have a toolbar. It's got this handy thing where if things are too wide for it, they just kind of go in this overflow area, and you just go like this. It doesn't work that well. How do you do? So I thought that sounded like a good idea. Unfortunately, WinForm's toolbars, at least, are very weird. They're totally bizarre. These, coding talk here. Controls. These are controls, right? They all inherit from the base class control, right? These ones don't. They inherit from toolstrip item, which inherits from component. So all the stuff you want to do with controls, you can't do half of it with these, and they're really bizarre and alien. And, okay, so it turns out this isn't really going to work, so I just spent a whole bunch of time on it. But the thing is, well, let me start at the first things first. You see, I got this title, this author, and it can go into the overflow, and it all seems really nice and fancy. You got these separators and all that. There's your tags button. I mean, they don't work. It's these ones that still work here. But, okay, so you got these. Now, here you got a drop down. See, this is rating. This is the rating drop down. So imagine that this is the rating drop down, right? So you got these options. You got a checkbox. You got like choose a range. I mean, this is just a quick and dirty thing. Also, you'll be able to have the option to make it either like FMCell, which is like this 5.5 sort of rating, or like AngelLoader, which is the 0 to 10 in increments of 1 rating. It's easy to give the user the option, so that'll be the case. This is just like whatever. But anyways, you could choose a range. It doesn't do anything yet. And so, yeah. But there's some problems with this. For instance, if you move over a button, it just kind of disappears, which looks really, really, really annoying. I mean, it is really annoying. Like, why would you do that? And also, these controls in here are kind of like sub-controls that are not normally supposed to be there. So if you select one and then you click outside once, you have to click twice. Also, if you just click outside, your click goes to there. So you'll like, if you're trying to click outside here, you'll end up selecting that or clicking that or whatever. So it's just annoying. And if you see this one here, it doesn't have these problems except, no, it doesn't have them at all. Yeah, it doesn't have those problems. You can mouse over here, nothing happens. You can click, you can click, nothing gets selected. You can choose a thing, you can click outside, it's just one click. You can click over here and nothing gets selected. And man, this is like super hack supreme. To get it to behave this way, it is unbelievably difficult wrangling cats sort of a thing. If you tried it, you know. So, I got it working. Except that when you click in one of these text boxes, nothing gets selected when you mouse over, which looks unprofessional. And it keeps selecting that. And it's just one thing after another with this tool strip. So I think I'm just going to change. Seriously, you see what I mean? Like, you can't even do it. It's just always selected. It's like, hey, screw you, buddy. So it's really stupid. And tool strips really are just meant to have little buttons that you like check on and off like that. Really, that's what they excel at. You try to put any of this other stuff, you're allowed to, but it just does not work very well. So, yes, as I was saying, sometimes in coding, you just don't know what's going to be a good way, and you just have some ideas, but you really just need to see it, and so you gotta just try something, and you might end up spending a lot of time on it and then thinking, no, this isn't working, and it might feel like you've just wasted a bunch of time, but really you would have wasted more time by sitting around infinitely not doing anything because you just don't know. So you gotta try something, and sometimes it doesn't work. But now you know. Now I know. I'm not going to mess around with this toolbar again unless it's super basic. So what I'm thinking instead then maybe is to have just, something that looks like a toolbar, but it doesn't have this overflow. But maybe it'll just be like every filter will just be like one button that you can kind of press to like collapse it and then to expand it. So that way you could free up space if you want. But you can expand it if you want, and that would probably solve the sort of scrolly problem with this going off the edge. I'm thinking that might just work better. So often the simple solution is the one that works the best. So I'm going to try that next. And again, I feel like I should be getting quote-unquote real work done, but this is, if I'm going to have this filter, it's got to be in a good way, It's got to be quickly accessible, but you'll be able to like collapse it, so if you don't have space, then and maybe you could scroll or something. It's just got to be a good user experience with a ton of filters and hopefully not opening a cascade of a bunch of windows. It's got to be fast and as flat as possible. So yeah, that's basically what I've been doing. I did, fix a few bugs here and there. There was a silly one where if you click this here, it would give an exception. And stuff like that. So, that works, right? Yeah. So, I fixed a few bugs and stuff, but that's what I've been working on. Don't really have much of substance to show for it, but this is just how it goes sometimes. Hopefully the end result will end up super well thought out because I've well thought it out. Okay, so,
Bye. Goodbye. Goodbye.